What's up, and welcome to episode 2 of Cardboard Dugout. I am your host, Saboon 3PO, and welcome to the very first full pledge episode of Cardboard Dugout. The first episode we did was just the trailer, kind of the introduction to the podcast and what to expect moving forward with the podcast. So if you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcast, welcome. If you're watching on YouTube, please feel free to hit the subscribe button and like to the channel because that is a free way to help support the podcast. Now, in this podcast here, I'm writing solo tonight. No guests yet. I'm working on some things as far as of that. I'm just trying to make some connections here and trying to figure out some scheduling when it comes to that. So again, that is in the works here. If you guys listen to the first episode or the trailer episode, which is available again wherever you get your podcast, listening to that. I did talk about that. It, for the most part, it will be a solo man. It'll just be me behind the mic, but I do plan on hopefully down the line getting on some guests, if they're recurring co-hosts or just a one-time guest or recurring guest down the line. So we have a full-fledged episode here. Like I mentioned, we're going to be talking about some different things here that are within the hobby. We got an SGC grading a special coming in for this month. I think is really cool. We're going to cover that a little bit. And then we're going to talk about some rookies. We got NL rookies here. Next episode, we'll probably talk about AL rookies, but I want to focus on the NL rookie class because it's everybody thinks I would think Paul Skenes will probably be the favorite to, or everybody thinks Paul Skenes will be the favorite to win NL Rookie of the Year just because of what he's doing so far this year. But the hobby, or I think baseball in general as well, doesn't respect Jackson Merrill. So we're going to take a look at both of those guys and take a look to see as well with their card market, seeing what they're doing. And then we're also going to cover, we got some new sets also coming out this week. I'm recording this episode late August 28th. Hopefully you're hearing this on the 29th or 30th, just depending on how fast I'm able to edit it. So we are going to be covering a new set that is coming out. So I will be going over the full set, what I think about it, some of the inserts. It's a hit and miss in my opinion. And then we got a prospect roundup here. I am going to have a segment where we are going to be talking about some prospects here, maybe one or two, but we are going to be highlighting Dylan Cruz. Dylan Cruz just got the call up here this past Monday, I believe, Monday or Tuesday. He got the call up, got his first hit against Garrett Cole. So we're going to cover his car market, what I think he can do, and how exciting the Nationals could be. Because the Nationals, while they're not first placer right now, they are a pretty fun team to watch. So with James Wood, CJ Abrams. So that's everything here that we are going to cover into the podcast. So hopefully you guys do enjoy this episode. And yeah, if you guys enjoyed it, please feel free to like, subscribe, all that good stuff. And please leave a rating because that helps me figure out, what I'm doing right or what I'm doing wrong, or also what you guys want to see as well moving forward with the podcast. So again, if you're watching on YouTube, you are going to be seeing a lot of screen shares, just so you guys can see what I'm looking at. And if you're listening on audio or where you get your audio as far as podcasting, you will be able to see that as well. So let's first talk about SGC and their grading. So we have a nice little special here coming in for Topps Chrome, $12 grading special, all sports and non-sports. And it could be from any year. This way they're celebrating Topps Chrome basketball being released after a few years. So, and it's a 5 to 10 business day turnaround. So that is pretty cool. So if you have any Topps Chrome from any year that you're looking to send in, I would highly recommend to potentially, you might want to check this out. Some people have their own opinion about SGC. I like SGC a lot. So this is something here that you potentially want to keep an eye out for. I would recommend to keep an eye on my other social medias. You can find me on any social media platform at Moon3PO. That's MOON 3P and the letter O. I think some people get confused between the letter O and zero. So it's the letter O. So might want to keep an eye on this because I am going to be working on a bulk to send in over there. Me and my brother are working on a bulk here to send into SGC. So you guys want to keep an eye on the prep, or guys know how to prep and to the grades that they get, please feel free to keep an eye out there on those social medias. So you guys can keep an eye out there for that. Now, the second thing here we're going to cover in this episode, like I mentioned, is going to be the recent releases that we're having coming out this week. This is a baseball podcast, so we're not going to talk a little bit about Topps Chrome basketball. I think those prices for those sets are completely crazy. I'm not a big basketball guy. I am from Texas, so I know Wembanyama is a big player, a generational talent. They say probably the most hyped up prospect I would think since LeBron. So I know his card market goes like crazy. There's on card autos. I believe there's LeBron James on card autos as well. But yeah, I'm not going to go into detail as far as of that when it comes to into that. So let's talk about the new set that we have coming out here. So this is coming on X from Top. They tweeted this on August 27th. So releasing this week, and you got to hear some inserts so you can see what they're highlighting. We got Josh Young, what Victor Wembanyama, and I believe that is CJ Stroud. Yes, CJ Stroud. Again, I'm not a big football guy, so wasn't recognizing that name or recognizing that picture right on top of my head. But what's coming out this week? Releasing this week, of course, like I mentioned, Top Scrum Basketball, $399 for a hobby box. That's pretty ridiculous, but we're not talking about football or basketball. We are going to be talking about 2024 Pristine Baseball that is dropping to August 30th at 10 a.m. Eastern, and it's going to come with 10 base card refractors, 5 insert cards, and 2 on-card autos, and 1 autograph relic card per box. And the hobby box here is going to be priced at $409.99. You do also have the 2024 complete sets, also dropping on the same day, 700 cards, including Series 1 and 2, plus 5 exclusive foil board parallels or rookie image variations, depending on the SKU. That's going to be priced there for $60. That honestly might not be bad if you're, into sealed sets. Maybe down the line there's a lot of good rookies: Elliot of the Cruz, Jackson Merrill, Shota Imanaga, Yamamoto. So I might pick that one up for myself and just keep it sealed, or buy 2, keep one sealed, open up the other one. But what we're going to be focusing on here is 2024 Pristine Baseball. So right off the bat, $400 for a hobby box. That is pretty crazy in my opinion. I know you're getting on-card autos. It looks like Fanatics and Topps are finally recognizing that we like on-card autos. Because I've seen some sets where they highlight that itself. So it is a little bit alarming that with on-card autos they are increasing the price, but that is just where Fanatics and the state of the hobby is, which I think is, that's another episode for another time when it comes to on-card autos and the prices of those boxes and those cards. But let's take a look here at the set and what to expect with this set. So this is coming courtesy of Beckett. This is where I go to where I'm reviewing all the sets here when it comes to a newly released announced set. So here we have it here. It talks about the same thing that we just discussed. The standard parallels are going to include refractors, green refractors, purple refractors, blue refractors, gold refractors, orange, pink, red, and super refractors. And here we have it. We have Jackson Holiday highlighted on this year's set. So the base cards look pretty cool. I mean, they're kind of basic, but I mean, they're not bad. They're not terrible. I think they look okay. They look pretty cool. Also included are Pristine parallels that come with a pattern background. So yeah, Pristine, purple Pristine, blue, gold, orange, pink Pristine, red Pristine, and black Pristine. And then they got Jackson Churio leading the way. So having a slight of a comeback this year. He's probably going to be saved off for the next episode. The base set is also launching point for Pristine autographs, the main sort of signatures in the product. Just over 80 players signed for these, making for a deep list. So it is a pretty deep auto list. Parallels are similar to the base Pristine versions, and they have Evan Carter highlighted. I like the background of that out of 50. That looks really nice. And again, on card, so can't be mad about that. Additional autographs and inserts on card is running theme on the 2024 Topps Pristine checklist. Standalone themes include Pristine personal endorsements, which I thought was pretty cool. I don't know if sometimes they feel kind of forced. Like I don't know if Topps is like and Fanatics are telling these players to write this. Some of them look forced, in my opinion. Some of them look, you know, personalized or whatever the case may be. Like the player did that themselves, but I don't know if it's like a thing where like Bowman Chrome, where Topps is telling them, put my first Bowman on there. So I don't know how I feel about the endorsements. I mean, it's a cool touch, but I to me, I like it better if the players is doing that whole willingly, out of their own way, not Fanatics or Topps telling them, hey, you got to put this on the card. So that's just my opinion on that. And also has Pristine paired dual auto. So if you're again watching on YouTube, you guys can see here they're highlighting a Jason Dominguez and Elliot de la Cruz dual card auto numbered out of 25. So that is pretty sweet. And then the one per box autograph relics come from Pristine Pieces, Popular Demand, and Skenes All-Star Game Pristine Pieces. So they here highlighting in a 1 of 1. Julio Rodriguez, who's having a down year so far. But if you pull that card, that is a nice looking card. It's highlighting from the teal jerseys from the All-Star Game. And then it's also talking about some inserts here. So we got Swings of the Summer, highlighting Aaron Judge. And then we got a Squeaky Clean. The Squeaky Clean, if I'm being completely honest, I don't like this insert. It just looks generic, in my opinion. I don't know what it is about. I don't know if it's like the bubbles or the theme of the insert. I just don't like it. This one here, the Swings of the Summer, kind of reminds me of the Strokes type insert from Topps Chrome from this past 2024. So I mean that looks cool. I like the bright colors, like the pink, like the orange, like the what kind of gives like an 80s type vibe. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, the squeaky clean, not a fan of that. So again, pristine hobby boxes here, cards per pack 10, packs 6 packs per box. And if you order in a case, you expect 8 boxes per case. Set size is going to be 300. And again, the release date is going to be August 30th. And what to expect in a hobby box: 1 autograph relic, 2 autographs, 5 inserts, and the 10 refractor parallels. So some of just notable rookies here that I saw here, just looking through the list, and it has some pretty cool legends. So you got like Sammy Sosa, Randy Johnson, some pretty nice notable legends there. But of course, rookies is going to be like Ellie De La Cruz, Jordan Westerberg, Sadine Rafaela, Jordan Lawler. Who else is listed down here? Let's take a look here through the list. Nice little legend here, Jeff Bagwell. There's the Ellie. I'm a big Pedroia guy, as you guys can see behind me. So Dustin Pedroia, he's in the set, so I might pick up like a base card for that. Wilger Abreu, who I will be highlighting next episode because I think he is a favorite or should be a favorite to win the Rookie of the Year, minus from Colton Cowser. Pete Crow Armstrong from the Cubs. Brent, I brought Brenton Doyle was a rookie, but that's he is not considered a rookie anymore. Let's take a look who else they have listed here on the set. Yoshinobu Yamamoto, he's hurt right now, but they have his rookie card here in the set, so I think that might be a good pickup potentially. Let's take a look here. Just looking through the list here really quickly. Sal Frelick, Andy Rodriguez, Lawrence Butler, nice little name, Jackson Merrill. Let's take a look here for the Queen Priester. He just got traded to the Boston Red Sox, so nice one there. Jason Dominguez, Jackson Churio, of course Jackson Holiday, Evan Carter as well. So pretty notable names here in this set if you're into collecting rookies or are looking to pick up more of these rookie cards here in these very, very loaded sets. And when it comes to autographs, of course, there is going to be a lot of autographs like they highlighted in the set. So All-Star Game, there's some nice notable players here. Of course, Adley, Corbin Carroll, Corey Seager, Josh Jung, Julio, like we just saw, Juan Soto with the Padres, Kyle Tucker. So pretty nice, good names there. And then they have a frozen roped autograph strike list, which I don't know what that looks like, but these are going to be out of one every 95 packs. So nice notable legends here as well. David Ortiz, rookies Evan Carter, Ellie De La Cruz, Jason Dominguez, Jordan Lawler. Those will be some nice ones there. You got a Mike Trout, Yoshida, Acuna, Sammy Sosa auto, Tristan Casas, Vladdy, and Yandy Diaz. So nice list of autos there. Snap autographs. Again, I don't know exactly what these look like, but you got Derek Jeter autographs and this Ichiro, Jason Dominguez. So some pretty notable Yankee players there when it comes to Dominguez, Jeter, and Ichiro obviously played there with the Yankees as well. Then we got my boy Rafael Devers on this as well. And then Sammy Sosa. You got Jordan, Pete Crow Armstrong, Matt Olson. So pretty nice ones there. And then we got popular demand autographs. So again, these are going to be a little bit harder to pull. These are 1 out of 102 packs. We got A-Rod autos, Barry Larkin, Chipper Jones, Clayton Kershaw, Kyle Ripken Jr., again, Jeter, Derek Jeter, David Ortiz, Eddie Murray. That's pretty cool. George Brett, Greg Maddux. I just saw the Greg Maddux documentary. I'm a big fan of Greg Maddux now, so I'm definitely going to be looking for some on card or maybe some just regular base cards of Greg Maddux. I think he's gonna he was. I never got to watch the pitch. Obviously, I'm a little bit younger. So I'm definitely going to be looking out for some great Maddox stuff. Juan Soto with the Yankees, Mike Trout again, Roger Clemens with the Yankees. I know that can kind of be like hit and miss when it comes to Roger Clemens. I know he has some stuff with the Astros, obviously with the Red Sox. So the fact that we're getting some Yankee stuff is pretty cool. Ryan Sandberg, Tom Glavine. And then we got pristine autos, which these look like are going to be more of the more common autos that you can pull. These are going to be out of 1 every 9 packs. So this is where some of the, the hit and miss of the autos can come into play. So, you have AJ Smith's, Shawher from the Atlanta Braves, Akia Williams, Brent Beatty, Brent Joyce, who throws like gas 105, 106, whatever he's throwing now. There's the Colton Cowser that we're highlighting here for as far as rookie. Don Manley, David Wright. Who else have we not highlighted here? But again, there's just a lot of I don't want to say no names, but a lot of lower tier players here when it comes to these types of autos. Like a Jared Trillia from the Pittsburgh Pirates, Jordan Wicks from the Cubs, Jordan Walker, who's had a harsh couple of years down there with the St. Louis Cardinals, Luis Arias, um, Mason Miller. That would be a good one to pull. We got Nomar Garcia Parra, so that'd be pretty cool. Reese Olson, like Slade Ciccone from the Arizona Diamondbacks. We got Shota, Imanaga Auto. So I mean, there's some nice names, but again, if you pull some of these no names here, that might be hurting, uh, the wallet there when it comes to the overall buying of the box. Now, I think what the highlight of this is going to be the dual pristine, which is what we saw in the set list preview. Is we're seeing pair dual autographs checklist. We've got 8 cards, but these are going to be extremely hard to pull. These are going to be out of 831 packs. We got red refractors, which is out of 1 every 4,155 packs. And then we got the super fractors, which is out of 1 every 20,256 packs. So if you pull this, you're doing good. Obviously, the notable cards here is going to be Bobby Witt Jr., and George Brett. Ellie de la Cruz and Jason Dominguez, like we just mentioned. Bryce Harper and Mike Trout. That's very, very cool. The captains for the Yankees, we got Derek Jeter and Aaron Judge. Randy Johnson and Pedro Martinez. Randy Johnson with the D-backs and Martinez with the Red Sox. We got another Aaron Judge card auto. We got Juan Soto and Aaron Judge with the New York Yankees. We got a pair of young stars with the Arizona Diamondbacks with Jordan Lawler and Corbin Carroll. And then a nice one here as well will be Gunnar Henderson and Ali Rutschman. So you pull any one of those, you're sitting pretty hefty. So, yeah, a lot of, again, like we've mentioned here, a lot of autos. I'm not going to go over all of this here because I think that would just make for a boring podcast. But yeah, a lot of autos here. A very nice set, if you're asking me. There's again a lot of inserts here. We got the Frozen Ropes, Let's Go, Northern Lights, Oh Snap, Pristine Production, Checklist, the Squeaky Cleans, Swings of the Summer. Swings of the Summer are going to be 1 out of 85 packs, so that might be a little bit of a tougher pool. The Squeaky Clean out of 1 every 6 packs. Pristine Production, these are be out of 1 every 3 packs. Oh Snap, 1 out of 6. Northern Lights, 1 out of 19. I'm curious to see how those look. I'm pretty sure those will probably look pretty nice. And then the Frozen Ropes, 1 out of 6 packs. And the Seven Wonders, 1 out of 346 packs. We got some Babe Ruth in there and Ken Griffey Jr. as well. So again, I'm not going to go over all these. I think it looks like a fun set. It's just, again, the price point for these is just kind of ridiculous in my opinion. $500 give or take here for a hobby box where you can potentially pull a low tier auto. Maybe not worth it. So if you're in it for the rip, it might be a fun rip. But if you're looking for that potential, big pool or investment to get your money back, it might be best there to just maybe go buy a single on eBay or at your local card show. Now, to kind of transition here as far as of numbers, like I mentioned here in my in the introduction video, or like you see in my YouTube channel, we talk a lot of numbers here. That's what I go based off here. We talk a lot about advanced metrics. I'm not going to go into too deep of a detail here, just because I don't want to bore you with all the number, unless you guys want to see that as well. But just going to go ahead and just highlight the Rookie of the Year battle in the National League between Paul Skenes and Jackson Merrill, because again, I think it's flipped. Usually the position player is in the hobby and with the award gets a lot of the favorites minus from the pitcher, but these are really flip-flopped. It's Paul Skenes, and obviously Paul Skenes is in another tier of another world of himself. He's on another tier when it comes to rookies and pitchers, but his card marking compared to Jackson Merrill is very awkward. So we're going to take a look at that here and just take a look at some numbers here when it comes to these players. We're going to take a look here at Baseball Reference and MLB.com when it comes to looking at the rookies here in this. So let's look at Paul Skenes and what he's doing. These haven't updated yet. He just started today. I don't believe he got the win. I believe the Pittsburgh Pirates blew it against the Chicago Cubs from what I saw. I know I saw Livy Dune put out a tweet of them blowing it again. So even she's getting frustrated by the Pittsburgh Pirates already. But you can see here, Paul Skenes, Baseball Reference here, already has accumulated a 4.54, so nearly a 5-win pitcher. He's 8-2 with a 2.16 ERA, with 2.16 ERA and 17 games started. Obviously, that's not updated, so he's now 18 games started, and I'm pretty sure maybe the strikeouts there in the innings pitch. I believe he went 5 innings, so he's at 109 innings pitch. But just looking at Baseball Reference, 104 innings pitch, 130 strikeouts, and a below 1 WHIP. which is impressive for a rookie season. Now, when it comes to metrics here for pitchers, I like looking at ERA plus and FIP. Kind of tells you what he's able to control. So the ERA plus, again, sitting at 192, league average is 100, so pretty well above league average, and the FIP is sitting at 2.78. He's gives up home runs. He has given up 10 home runs and 104 innings pitched, so that's about a home run a start. So that's why the FIP is a little bit higher than the ERA. ERA is sitting at 2.16. So again, nothing too crazy as far as of that. But again, pretty exceptional player, a very exciting pitcher. I don't in my lifetime don't remember such exciting pitcher. The one comparison I always make when it comes to pitchers, as much excitement in my time would be Steven Strasburg. That guy had a lot of hype when he came out. Had unfortunately had his career ended short, but went out on a strong note with his postseason push to the Nationals and getting that World Series ring. Now, when taking a look here at Jackson Merrill, which again, like I mentioned here, doesn't get a lot of love in the both in the hobby, in my opinion. I believe we talk about the other Jackson Holiday, potentially Jackson Churio, but Jackson Merrill does not get a lot of love, but I believe he should. And in my opinion, is pushing not MVP, but is pushing should be on very close to a rookie of the year, and I think in my opinion should win it because typically position players are more prone to winning the rookie of the year for the NL. But what he's doing on his end is just spectacular. Got off a little bit of a slow start, so I think maybe that's why the both MLB or baseball fans in general and the hobby don't respect what he's doing. But he's having a great year. So for a position player playing a very highly defensive center field as well, the 3.6 WAR, has 19 home runs, hitting at a 292 clip, has driven in 75, and is pushing 14 stolen bases. So it's pushing that 2020. I know we throw those numbers out a lot, but 2020 in a rookie year, a pretty impressive 322 on base percentage, slugging 490, OPS 813, and an OPS plus of 126. Taking a look here, going down further, we can take a look here again. 6 triples. The stolen bases here. Where's the stolen bases? 14. Like I mentioned, you're pushing that 2020. 22 walks, 87 strikeouts, OPS plus 126. So again, having a pretty good year so far. And when we look at leading rookies, is leading basically all the rookies in offensive categories. Is we're gonna start sharing it here again. I got to find a better way to do this here when I'm sharing it here. I wonder if there's a better way to just move it. But when we look at home runs here, let's fix this here. So he has 19 home runs. He's tied for first behind Colton Cowser, who has got off to a very fast start, but has slowed off. I believe he leads the league. He does here. He leads the league in qualified rookies and RBIs. Second place is going to be Asadine Rafaela, and the other Jackson here, Jackson Churio, sitting at 60 in third place. Does not lead in stolen bases. That's going to be David Hamilton. I believe he has 33 or 32 swipe bags, if 33 as far as of right now. Leads the league, leads all qualified rookies in or second actually in average there. Tyler Fitzgerald, but only has played 71 games, is right below him. He's right above him at 296. Jackson Merrill sitting at 290. Mason Wynn as well, having a low key, very low key, good year as well. Also does not get respect in hobby. Another shortstop takes that here. As far as on base percentage, not going to be the highest there. He currently is 12th. Slugging percentage, I would expect it to be up there as well. He is currently where is he? Third when it comes to slugging percentage, and OPS, he is third as well. So you can see there, he is in all qualified rookies, is in the running to be the favorite. So I would expect him to be the favorite here when it comes to this. And I think he should get more respect here when it comes to the NL Rookie of the Year. Obviously, when you look at qualified rookies for pitchers and starters, obviously these are going to be a little bit more advanced. Obviously, Paul Skenes is going to lead a lot of them here. We got Lucas Gill leading it here as far as a win, but Paul Skenes at 8. Technically, his fourth. Shota is right behind, is right in front of him as well, and Gavin Stone. ERA, he's going to obviously ERA is a little bit messed up here because this counting zeros. This changes to qualified rookies. So again, kind of the same thing here. When it comes to ERA, Paul Skenes leads at 2.23. Doesn't have as many innings lost compared to Shota and Gavin Stone. Shota's at 140. Paul Skenes is only at 109. And then taking a look here at the whip with hitters in position, he's leading at 0.95. So I think even Shota doesn't get a lot of love. I know it's kind of just not mentioning Shota as well, but I think Shota Imanaga should get a little bit of love when it comes to that. And now, when it comes to the card market of these players, like I mentioned here, very flip flop when it comes to that. Because again, we see the position players leading the league and or leading the way when it comes to cards. But in this case here, Paul Skenes is actually the one who's moving the charts here and moving the sales. So this is a courtesy of Market Movers. This is the app that I use. I use either them or Card Hedge. Those are the two that I typically like to look at. You could use, anything Card Ladder, wherever you get your card data from. But these are going to be at PSA 10. I like doing this one here, Jackson Merrill, the first Bowman. He doesn't have an auto of a first Bowman just because if you notice here, the image is not him. That is not Jackson Merrill. That's a right-handed hitter. He's a left-handed hitter. So that is why there's no first Bowman auto. So that's why we're going to be looking at 2022 Bowman Chrome, because that is considered technically his first Bowman auto, even though the first Bowman is logo is not on there. Um, excuse me. But looking at it here, let's just look at the top PSA 10 sales. We have a pop sale of 531 for Jackson Merrill, and we have a pop 560 for Paul Skenes. But taking a look here at Paul Skenes, the last sale for Paul Skenes, and these are just normal on card autos, not numbered to anything. These are just generic, not refractors, no gold refractors, no super refractors, just standard base on card autos. Paul Skenes at a PSA 10 last sold for $1,34,000. That last sale was on August 27th. So that was yesterday at this last time of the recording. The lowest sale was 960. So that's just crazy. And we'll compare the raw sale as well. Jackson Merrill, he's had a big change here. He's at $145 change. His last sale was $385. That was on August 22nd. So not too long ago. Let me see here. Okay, cool. So let me change it to raw. So taking a look here at just raw sales. Again, Jackson Merrill sitting at $170. He's had a change of $100 because he's been performing well the last, second half, last couple of months or so. Paul Skenes, it's actually had a negative and change of the price. His last sale was $514, so it was $131 change. But it's kind of just showing what I was just stating here is that typically pitchers in this market here don't have this type of market where they're pushing thousands, $500 sales. Is usually the exact opposite. Usually that position player is going to be pushing those types of sales. But Paul Skenes is in his league of his own. I have my own collection of Paul Skenes cards. I've graded some of his cards. I've sold some of his cards. So he does really well for me. Typically, pitchers, again, are typically the higher risk investments because they're more prone to those types of injuries. If that's, elbow injuries, shoulder injuries, like we see with Yamamoto, he's dealing with, I believe, like the shoulder impingement. Not Shota Imanaga, Kota Senga from the Mets is dealing with some injuries as well. So pitchers in this market is very, very tough to speculate and to see. So it's just something here that you want to keep an eye out for if you're, trying to buy either Jackson Merrill or Paul Skenes cards. And it looks like based on what we're seeing here in the market, Jackson Merrill is finally starting to get some love in the game. So happy to see that when it comes to that. Cause I'm a big fan of Jackson Merrill. I pulled his short print as well in SGC, got it at 9.5. I sold it to get some money back, but yeah, that was a fun card to pull. Again, available on my socials. So if you guys want to check that out, please feel free to go check that out on the social media over on TikTok. Now, in this segment here, we're now going to just transition to, like I mentioned here, we're going to be starting some prospect roundups here. I'm going to call this segment here Cardboard Futures. We're talking about the future of the hobby and potentially the future stars of the game, which can be said here for Paul Skenes and Jackson Merrill as well. But the player we're going to be highlighting in today's episode is going to be Dylan Cruz from the Washington National, LSU teammate of Paul Skenes. Now, Dylan Cruz has got the call up on Monday. So, of course, his numbers here he's not going to have a lot of established major league history, but we are going to take a look at his numbers, what he was doing in the minor leagues. This is what I do a lot on my YouTube channel. So, this is something that you're interested in. Again, please feel free to go check out the channel over on YouTube for these types of videos. But we can see right now we're heading over to Fangraphs. Fangraphs is typically the ones to put out a little bit more of the numbers when it comes to minor leaguers. So when I saw that he was getting the call up here, I was a little bit surprised because he wasn't tearing up AAA. It was kind of, I would say, league average. I would say, and he wasn't really killing AA as well. I know he got off to a little bit of a slow start in AA, but was starting to finally heat up because you can see here in 2023 in AA, he really struggled. And 20 in just 20 games, he only hit 208. Was striking out at a 22.4 clip, only walking nearly 10%. So we're striking out a lot. WRC plus in it at 73, so below average there. Woba 288, BABIP 278, so maybe he's getting a little bit unlucky. OPS sitting at 595. And then when it came down to his first full year in AA this year, again, got off to a little bit of a slow start, but started to slowly heat up. The power hasn't been there, though, because you see here only had 5 home runs, drove in 38, was still striking out at a pretty alarming rate, sitting at 23.7% and only walking 7.6%. So when I was looking at that, it was a little bit alarming. OPS barely close to 800, sitting at 789. ISO sitting at 172. I always like to say with ISO, you want to look for 200. That's always what I highlight in my videos. So a little bit lower there. BABIP sitting at 343. Woba, pretty league average, above league average, sitting at 355. And WRC plus was sitting at 123. So above average there, but wasn't nothing too crazy as far as of like, what Jackson Holiday was doing down to AAA. That dude was absolutely clean AAA. So it wasn't, eye pumping numbers. But in the end, ended up getting the call up to AAA. This is where I like to see his game go, because in 49 games, which is nearly close to what he did this year in AA, sitting at 51 games, had more home runs, had 8 home runs, drove in 30, but the walk percentage increased. It went up a little bit, 8.4%, so a little bit of an increase from the 7.6, but the strikeout percentage decreased. It went from 23.7 to 17.6%. So that's, he's a young player. I believe he is he's 22. So, he's still young. The pitch recognition can still be there. But 17, to make the improvement from one level up to another, where in AAA, it's obviously more established major league players. It's good to see the decrease. So I was happy to see that when I saw he got the call up again, but the power still not really there. OPS was still sitting at 795. ISO sitting at 190, so there was a little bit of an increase. So again, 10 points shy of what I look for in the 200. Woba sitting at 352 and WRC plus sitting at 105. And the hard hit percentage was 43.3%. So he was hitting the ball higher than the average exit velocity of 95 miles per hour or higher. So it wasn't exactly killing it down in AAA like we're seeing some guys do there, like my guys from the Boston Red Sox, like Roman Anthony, Kristen Campbell, who's been killing it as well. Like I just mentioned, Jackson Holiday, Jackson Churio. So wasn't really killing it, but it's good for, I think in baseball, one thing that lacks in baseball, and I think some of the things that kind of what people knock baseball for is like these players get drafted out of college, high school, but it takes so long for them to get promoted, and sometimes they lose their steam or whatever the case may be. But the fact that Skenes, Churio, Cruz, some of the Evan Carter, these guys who just got drafted in the 2022, 2023 drafts, they've made their way up in less than a year. So it's really good for the hobby and really good for just overall baseball in general. We're starting to see some of our older veterans flush out that I grew up with. Joey Votto just retired, Miggy retired last year, Albert Pujols a few years ago. Mike Trout isn't what unfortunately what he used to be anymore due to the injuries. Bryce Harper is getting up there. So Nolan Arenado is getting up there. So a lot of these guys are starting to get older in age, and now we're starting to see the influx of young stars. So I think it's very, very exciting to see these guys coming up here and starting to get some recognition and finally get some of the excitement that they should be getting. Now, when it comes to see what his cards are doing, again, we are just going to look at or cover his first Bowman Chrome auto. Just again, his base auto. That's only what I like to look at when it comes to, again, you can look at refractors at a 499. I also like to look at those, but just for the sake of this, this episode, and for the sake of just this episode in general, we're just going to look at his normal base auto and what it's done the last 30 days. And we'll take a look here at all data as well. So we see here his last sale was $195. That was a $28.75 change. It was as low as $103, which if you got a card for $103 of Dylan Cruz, I think that's a steal. Because I think he is going to be a very, very exciting player. And we kind of see all the data here. Again, this is just raw, no grading. Maybe we can switch it off to a PSA 10 if it allows me to. If we see so, it started off pretty high, sitting at 450, then it dipped down to about 400. 220. Middle of June, 221, 184. I think that, I believe that was probably one of the lowest ones. Yeah, like 176, 184. So about nearly 60% of changes from what we saw when it got listed. And then 137 on July 15th. So if you bought that, you're sitting pretty hefty right now. Then went high up again to 228, went low to 121 on August 6th. And then once he got the call up, finally started going back up 246 and 225. Again, that's just raw. And now looking at PSA 10s as a pop of 122. So again, came out here at 480, then went up to 800, went down to about 500, 431, and then slowly dipped down to 218 on August 5th. That that's a steal in my opinion, because if you're paying raw for 100 and you're paying 218 when you consider cost of grading and shipping, that I think that's whoever got that card's a steal. They went up to August 12th for $500. And then once again, the call up here, we're seeing that immediate effect here. We're seeing it 447. Let's see if here. Yeah, right away, seeing the immediate effect here. Lowest 218. Last sale was 447. So we're seeing a $229 change in just in the last 30 days when it comes to a PSA 10 Bowman Chrome Auto of Dylan Cruz. So I think if you're looking to get into the next top player, this might be a player you want to keep an eye out for. I do have some Dylan Cruz cards that I am working on. PSA Submission, I have his first Mojo Refractor that I'm planning on sending out. Hopefully that could 10. When I expected it, it looked pretty well on my end. So that is going to be the end of the episode. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this second episode here of Cardboard Dugout. If you guys enjoyed it, please, if you're watching on YouTube, please feel free to leave a like, comment down below on what you guys want to see next. Again, the guests are coming. Hopefully I can get them rolling out pretty soon. But again, it's just tinkering with some schedules and kind of getting a direct fit here. I'm more than likely going to be shooting for either Thursday or Friday releases. That is when I'm hoping to get these episodes out. I'm just, again, like I mentioned the first episode, I'm working on some different things right now. So, and there's a lot of just different types of content I like working on. So I got my toes dipped in numerous different things. So that's what's taking up a lot of my time. But hopefully I can start putting a little more effort into the podcast and getting these episodes out once a week, and especially just covering any hobby news or any baseball news that are coming out. So again, if you guys are watching on YouTube, you enjoyed it, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. If you're listening to either on Apple or Spotify, please feel free to leave a review and favorite this and follow for more, because these episodes will be coming out every week. I do thank you guys for listening and watching, and stay tuned for the next one.